Welcome once again to the Caribbean Junior Culinary Conference. This conference is held in Barbados annually and brings together all of our aspiring young chefs from across the Caribbean. This event includes workshops and seminars designed specifically for our young culinarians. There is also the Caribbean Junior Dueling Challenge, which forms part of this great conference for our youth.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our little session. Myself and Rohan are two well-known mixologists here in Barbados. I'm actually the coach and trainer of the Barbados culinary team now. Rohan would have been my first trainee and has won quite a few competitions as well. Still trying to catch up to me in certain areas, but we won't get too deep into that because today is about you guys and not about us. But just a little bit about myself. I'm the resident mixologist at the Sand Lane Hotel, which is the only 5-diamond establishment we have on the island. And it's been, 8 years now? 8 to 10 years that I've been doing bartending and bar technology and getting into mixology. Right now, my aim is to develop persons like Rohan and my other two trainees who would have won gold at Taste of the Caribbean, who are Philip Antoine and Ryan Adamson. Who is the most recent. He would have won gold at Taste this year. Right now, that's what I'm focusing on. Development and training of bartenders, not just here, but we're going to look at doing some stuff in the Caribbean as well. The culinary arts is actually very close to me because I actually want to be a chef. And you're going to see some of that today in most of my cocktails that I'm doing at my station. You also see some of it over in Rohan's station as well, where we like to delve into the cooking arena to bring herbs and spices and vegetables and fruits that you guys would usually use into the bar to use in making cocktails. I'll let Rohan do a short introduction about himself, and then we'll jump into what we're doing here today.
Okay, good morning, everyone. As Jamal said, well, I was his trainee. I don't know why he keeps saying that. I'm currently bartending at Sand Lane. I've been doing bartending or competition for the last, say, 8 to 9 years also. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to beat him as yet, but once you're still alive, you still have a chance to do certain stuff. The aim today is just to show you some interesting cocktails, different types of mixology, and just have a fun time. So Jamal's going to start off. Yeah. All
right, so does anybody know what mixology is, firstly, before we get too deep into certain things? Anybody want to take a stab at what mixology is? No? Okay, so mixology is basically an in-depth look at the art and craft of creating or recreating cocktails. So we don't just make drinks, we delve deeper into the cocktail itself. So why do these ingredients work together? It's kind of like being a chef. You know, nobody just goes, oh, we're just gonna mix chicken with pumpkin and think it's gonna work just like that. You do a lot of tasting, you do a lot of probing, a lot of testing to figure out what tastes good with what and what works with another ingredient or what pairs with another ingredient. So we delve into that arena of figuring out what works with and what pairs well with certain ingredients to make cocktails more inviting to people, basically. So, like for instance, you have a rum punch. Anybody knows the ingredients for rum punch? Rum. Yeah, and then a punch in the gut, right? Right. No, rum. Sorry, you put up your hand.
Orange juice, nutmeg.
Okay. Good, cool. Well, what you describe is more of like a planter's punch, but it's still a rum punch in a sense. But the main ingredients for any traditional rum punch, so you're not wrong, you're actually on the same path, but it's just rum, lime, sugar, and bitters. Some people omit bitters, some people add in more because it adds more spicy notes and spicy flavors. So what do you get when you add those things together? You get alcohol from the rum, which is your spirit. You get citrus or acidic notes from the lime. You get sugar, which is your sweetness, which balances out the lime juice. And then you add the bitters in, not just for the complexity of flavor, but also for color as well. So it's different ingredients do different things for different cocktails. All right. So what a mixologist would do is a mixologist would look at those ingredients for a rum punch. And then I'm actually going to do a sour rum punch for you today. But just to go into what mixology could turn that drink into, let's just say, for instance, grapefruit, right? Grapefruit is citrus, just like limes are citrus. All right, so let's change the lime juice to grapefruit juice. Actually, where was the first grapefruit engrafted? Right here in Barbados. First ever grapefruit was grafted right here in Barbados. So it's actually an indigenous fruit to the island. And so you take the grapefruit instead of the lime, and then you add a flavor to your syrup. But what flavors go well with grapefruit? You have cinnamon, you have things like rosemary. Those kind of herbs and spices go well with grapefruit. So you pick a flavor which is not so well known in the bartending world, and you might probably use rosemary. So you have rosemary syrup, which you could make on the stove. We've got some syrups in front of you today. We'll go through some of those later. But you basically take, a couple sprigs of rosemary, sugar, water, boil it on the stove. You make a nice rosemary syrup, add that to the grapefruit juice, combine that with rum, and you add bitters to it. Now you've got a grapefruit rosemary rum punch. All right? So that's just basically a short insight into what mixology really does in the world of bartending. So now that we understand what mixology is, we're going to jump into some cocktails. We've got some syrups that we've done. It's actually interesting that you guys went through molecular gastronomy this morning just next door, because this is a little bit of molecular mixology that we've done with these things as well, where we've used a sous vide machine to create these syrups for you today. All right, so the ingredients were chosen, added to syrup, put into a vacuum sealed bag, and sous vide for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Then after that, they're pulled, and then we strain all the ingredients off, we filter it. Some of them had to be reboiled on the stove as well to bring a little bit of clarity and even add some color. And then they were bottled, and we left them over time to see which ones would make it to today for shelf life purposes. The three that I'm going to be using are going to be ackee or guinnep to some of you from other islands, with allspice. This one is a cucumber, basil, and mint, and this is a spice sorrel syrup that we're going to be using at the end. And what I'm going to do for you is that we're going to keep it simple for the majority of the day today. We're going to use some different techniques to create the cocktails. So we're just going to do ackee allspice lemonade with the first one. We're going to do some swizzling. Anybody from Grenada here? Grenada didn't make it. That was unfortunate, because I was going to ask them to bring me a swizzle stick. So we're going to do some swizzling today as well, and then I'm going to finish off with a sorrel rum punch. But before we go any further, this is going to be interactive. So we're going to have at least 2 persons come up to join me to make, but not just myself, but also join Rohan as well in creating these cocktails to show you how easy they are to prepare yourselves once you have all the right tools. And as we go through the cocktails, we'll go through the tools that we're using as well. And you'll realize that some of the tools that you use in the kitchen are actually tools that we use in the bar as well. All right, so who wants to come up and do a ackee allspice lemonade? 1, 2, come up with me. I'm actually going to step out. So if these don't taste good, it's all on you. Right, so first things first, you're going to need a few things in front of you before you even start. So we're going to use your glassware. So you take 1 glass. All right, and you take the other glass. Okay. You're going to need jiggers. So your jigger is your measuring tool. In the kitchen, you would have like your measuring spoons, measuring cups, whatever. In the bar, we also use measuring spoons as well, but the majority of the time we use jiggers. Jiggers can come in any sizes, shapes. Some are plastic. You could have glass ones as well, but usually they're aluminum and very handy. The bottom end, which is the smaller end, is usually 1 ounce, but this one actually has some guides in here. So you have the 2 lips that you have on the inside of here, and then you have 1 in here as well. So the bottom is usually 1 ounce, and the top is 1.5 ounces. All right. Anything short along this line is going to be the same ounce as the bottom, and the one under that is going to be 3/4 of 1 ounce. All right. And we're going to use fresh lime, because your grandmother always used fresh limes in lemonade, right? So when you're home making lemonade, what do you use? Limes, sugar, water. Correct. So remember what I just said about the rosemary syrup. So today, instead of using regular sugar, we're going to use the Cjcc allspice syrup to make the lemonade. All right. So you have 2 pieces of lime. You're going to use the lime squeezer, which I know you guys use in the kitchen as well sometimes, I guess. All right. So you know how to use that? You think so? You know so? I think so. All right. So what you're going to do is you open it this way, and then the lime goes face down, so that the juice comes through the holes. And what you guys will realize is that I've actually cut the ends, the tops, not only so it can stand up, but also for another reason. Things can become bitter, right? So you're going to squeeze that right into the glass. So you do yours, and then he can do his. But really, really hard till you get all the juice out. Every single last drop. Press again. There you go. So you're going to get some of the oils out of the skins. You're going to get some of the juice. And you just discard that. You just pass that to him so he could use it as well. Right, so the reason for cutting off the ends of the lime, we're just going to go through that briefly. So you have first contact and last contact with the tree. And what are all trees? Bark. Right? What is mauby? Bark. How does mauby taste? Bitter. So first and last contact with the tree is bark. These 2 pieces are going to make your drink bitter. Right? So always cut the tops and the bottoms off of the lime, so you have no bitterness in your drink at all. All right, so the next thing you're going to do now, and the method that we're using now is called building. Right? So you're going to fill your glass with ice. Right? So it's like usually 1 scoop or a scoop and a half, depending on the size of the scoop. So we got the lime in the bottom of the glass, and then we're going to add the syrup. And then after we add the syrup, we're going to top it up with a little bit of water, and then we're going to stir. And that's going to be the end of the drink. And you guys get to take the 2 of those, and then I'll do some samples for 1/2 of the audience to taste. Rohan would jump into his next drink afterwards. No, fill it all the way up. Fill it all the way up. All the way up with ice. The reason for filling it all the way up with ice is because we don't want to add too much water. Because if we add too much water, then the drink becomes watery. You're not going to get the flavors out. Right? All right, so do you like sweet drinks or moderately sour drinks? Sweet. Okay, so this is totally beyond me because I'm not necessarily into sweet things. But outside of that, you could use upwards to 1.5 ounces of the Cjcc allspice. But you can start with 1 ounce, and then we could taste it and see how it goes. But if you want it really sweet, you could do the 1.5 ounces one time, and I have no problems because that's all yours. all the way to the top, all the way to the top, and just go closer to your glass so that you don't spill anything. Right, all the way to the top, and then straight into your glass. Not everybody spilling. Not everybody spilling. You can wipe that up. There you go. And then to pass it over. Tissue? Right, tissue to wipe up. Yeah, so just the same way that chefs always keep it clean, we always keep it clean as well. There you go. All right, I'll take that. All right, now we're gonna top it off with water, just regular plain tap water. And just go almost to the top, but not all the way, because we always need to leave lip space at the top of the glass. So right there. All right, and same for you as well. All right, then you both are gonna get a spoon. Right, so the reason for the twisties in the spoon is so you can just move your thumb and your finger together, whichever finger you want to use, whether you want to use your middle finger or your index finger, up to you. If you want to get crazy and do that. I don't think it works, but it could work with your pinky. Yeah, it could. But you're using your thumb and one other finger to move the spoon back and forth. Also, while you're going back and forth, you want to go up and down. This is to lift the syrup from the bottom of the glass, as well as get all the ingredients mixed together, right? Right, so right here, this method is called building and then stirring. So with building, you build the drink from the bottom up, and then you just stir to make sure that everything is mixed well together. There you go. All right, so that's it. So just take the spoons out. You can just rest them anywhere on the cutting board. Yeah. And then have a taste. And then you let me know what you think. So you getting any ackee flavor at all, or Guinness flavor? Yeah. Is it nice and refreshing, and yeah, it's different to the lemonade that you're accustomed to tasting, or is similar to it? A little different. Okay, so those are yours, and you can just have the seat. Okay, so the reason why I asked earlier if anyone was from Grenada was because of the next piece of equipment that I'm going to be using, and it's actually found on the island of Grenada. And they want you guys to understand that this is something that we could get freely here in the Caribbean, that people all over the globe pay upwards to $30 for one of them, not only because of the shipping, but because it's a commodity right now to most bartenders. And it is this piece of equipment right here.
Similar to that.
Similar? Are we Trinidad? Yes. Exactly. It's true. It's true. Actually, the person that gave this to me is from Trinidad. Raymond Edwards from the Angostura Limited. And this one is very special and dear to me because it's my first, and I've never ever had to do anything to it. A lot of guys would get it, and because these are long, they'll cut them and all that kind of stuff. But I want to keep it the way it is.
I will steal it.
Yeah, he wants to steal it, but he can't. But what makes it interesting is because of this little dimple right here. They're usually straight all the way through, but this one has a little dimple right here, which makes it interesting, which is easy to get into certain glasses and stuff like that. Sizzling was made popular in the tiki era, which is like in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it has made a massive comeback. A lot of people like them now because the drinks are very refreshing, and they're usually long drinks, but today we're going to serve it short. And the wood is actually very aromatic. When you rub it, actually you can just smell the wood and pass it around. By the time you guys get back, we should have 2 people up here ready to swizzle. I've only got one swizzling vessel, but we could get someone to come up and help me do some other stuff, or 2 other people to come up and help me do some other stuff. So what we're going to do with the swizzle stick today is that we're going to use my mixing glass, which is, this one is a fancy mixing glass. These are what mixing glasses usually look like. So this is your traditional mixing glass that comes with your shaker. When you add the 2 of them together, it's called a Boston shaker. But over the years, a lot of developers of mixing glasses decided that a footed mixing glass would be nice. And also we have what we call Yarai mixing glasses, which is basically a mixing glass without the foot, which is actually really nice as well. This one holds up to 33 ounces and is very interesting because of the feathers on the outside. And this one is actually brand new. So this is one of my new toys. So it's one of my new toys and one of my old toys that I'm working with today. So what we're basically going to do is that we're going to use the cucumber, mint, and basil syrup to do a swizzle. And we're going to use fresh rosemary, fresh cucumber, along with the syrup. And then you guys get to choose whether we're using soda water or tonic water, or we can use both. That's totally up to the 2 persons that come up to help me with this one. So if I could have 2 people come up, well, the swizzle stick is still going around. So that's 1 and 2. All right, so the swizzle stick is still going around. All right, please smell the top and not the bottom, because we're going to use the bottom in the actual glass right now. Because the entire piece of wood is aromatic. The entire piece of wood is aromatic. And that actually adds some flavor to the drink. Pardon?
It smells like curry.
Yes, it smells something like curry. You're actually very right. And it is actually used in Trinidad in curries and stuff like that when they're, well, for some people, not all people, some people who do have them, because as I said, my friend Raymond, he uses his when he's doing curry at home, and he uses it in the pot while he's swizzling, while he's cooking, which is actually pretty cool as well. So the Swizzle stick imparts a little bit of aroma to the drink, and it aerates the drink as well. I'm actually gonna crush some ice now too, because crushed ice is usually synonymous with swizzles, and you guys know what this is, right? Meat tenderizer, right? So we also use this in the bar as well, but not for tenderizing meat, but for crushing ice. And we're not going to use too much ice for now because the glasses are still pretty small. We're just going to transfer this. After we crush this, we're going to transfer it from here into our 2 glasses and just garnish with some fresh cucumber and rosemary. Right, so rosemary has some really citrus and herbaceous notes, which is going to help us with this drink as well. We're also going to, if you don't move, you get hurt. Yeah, friendly banter is always good behind the bar too. Right, so crushed ice, which is what we have here now. Just going to leave that here for now until the swizzle stick makes its way back. So what I want you guys to do now, I'm going to let you step in because you guys are the chefs. You're good with the knives, right? I may not be as good as you with a knife. No, I'm just kidding. I use knives all the time. This one is sharp enough for me, but I know Peter might say it's not sharp enough. Thank you very much. All right, so what we're going to do is now, what I want you to do, the first person to do, is use a little bit of water here because it's very hands-on, this particular drink. So just rinse your hands off with a little bit of water. Right, this over the garbage can, and then you can use this to dry your hands. Yep, that's good. What you're going to do is that you're going to cut some nice cucumber slices, all right? Just about 6 to 8, and we're gonna drop those straight in, right? Straight in the glass, right? And then, lady, what's your name? Darisha. Okay. So one of the sprigs of rosemary. What I want you to do is take one sprig, take all of the leaves off of it, put it straight in the center of the paper towel, and then just slightly hit it with the mallet like twice. All right. So. Right, so there's two taps. With the mallet. There you go. Right, so actually you can see some of the oil from the leaf, right?
It smells good.
Right, and the aromatics are there. So you're just gonna funnel that straight into the mixing glass for me, please.
This one?
No, into the big one, right, into there, right. And then Malik is gonna put the cucumber slices in. Right. And then we're going to use another piece of equipment here called a julep strainer. Right, so a julep strainer is kind of like a slotted spoon for you guys in the kitchen, right? It kind of looks like a slotted spoon, but it's for bartenders. So what happens is the julep strainer does not move in the mixing glass, but you don't use it for the mixing tin because it goes straight in, right? Use what we call a Hawthorne strainer for the mixing tin because that stays right at the top, but it doesn't necessarily fit on the mixing glass, right? So using the julep strainer, I want you to take all the ice out of the bag and put it straight into the mixing glass with the cucumber and the rosemary. Yeah, right straight into there. He's just moving the julep strainer. All right, and while he's doing that, so as I said, we use the sous vide machine to create the syrups. So we basically julienne sliced cucumbers with some fresh mint, fresh basil, straight into a vacuum sealed bag, into the water with the sous vide, again for another hour and a half to 2 hours. And then we took it off, boiled it, and then when you boil it, you get this lovely yellow color that you have going on here. The aroma is herbal, coming from the mint and the basil, but the flavor is actually slightly cucumber, right? And now you got all the ice out. Good, cool. So what I want you to do, Malik, as you're close to there, using the tall end, you're going to do 3 ounces of this. So go close to the glass so that you don't spill. There you go. You can pour as slow as you want. And then once again. Right, so right now, all we're really doing is doing some infusion, and that's good, right there. So that's 4.5. That's okay. More for everybody. This way I don't have to do it again. Right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this sizzle stick. You're gonna put it in at an angle so that it fits in. There you go. Push it all the way down to the bottom. And you're gonna start swizzling. She's gonna finish swizzling, and then you're gonna use both hands. Go as fast as you want. Get all those ingredients involved. Now you're seeing the rosemary is coming up from the bottom. The cucumber is moving around. This is what you want from a swizzle. And never mind the glasses moving. Just keep it in that general area. So you're swizzling back and forth. We're breaking down the syrup a little bit. We're taking away a little bit of the sweetness the longer that we swizzle. And we always know a swizzle is finished when the base of the glass is frosted to the point where you could literally almost write your name in. Right? So what you do now is just come up and down slightly while you're doing it. Try not to come above the ice. Right, there you go. So now you're really getting all those flavors involved. All right, so let's take a break and let my friend have a try as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I can smell it from here. I smell the cucumber, smell the rosemary, and it smells really nice. So with the two of you up here, I'm letting you guys have full reign today when you come behind the bar. So do you want to top it up with soda water, or you want to top it up with tonic water? Soda water? Okay, soda water. All right, so we're gonna take it like 3/4 of the way up. Then we're gonna have a small taste, and then we're gonna open the soda water, pour it in. We're going 3/4 of the way up. Don't worry, that happens. I didn't shake it up, I think. Let's go a little higher. There you go, right there. All right, so we're gonna swizzle a little bit more. Yeah, so you go ahead. Swizzle a little bit more. And now what we're doing is that we're trying to get some of that effervescence from the soda water going in there as well. All right, you can stop now. And then what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take 2 sample cups, and you guys are gonna try it. Just take the stick out at an angle as well. Right, there you go. You can put it right there. Cool. Have a taste. Let me know what you think. If it's too sweet, we can add a little bit more soda water. If it's not sweet enough, we can add a little bit more syrup.
Yuck.
It tastes good though? All right, good. As long as it tastes good. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to strain it off into our glasses. So what I want you to do is take this. You're going to use both hands. Yes, the rosemary. You weren't supposed to get some of the rosemary in there. So what we're going to do is that we're going to use our glassware. Right. So it's a two-handed thing. So what you want to do is you want to hold this at the front of here while you're pouring into there so you don't get any more rosemary in the mouth. And then we're going to garnish it after. Right? So just hold that there and then lift the glass and we're going to pour into there. So you shouldn't get any pieces. Just make sure you hold it, pour quickly. Don't worry about that. All right, hold. And then she can pour. Well, you pour both. I'll let her do the garnishing. So you have a nice clear cocktail at the end, no ice, well, you got a few pieces of rosemary in there, but that's okay. We'll get those out with the spoon. All right, so now with the same cucumber that we had before, you're gonna cut 2 nice slices, thin, so they can float on top. And just before you put it in the drink, we're gonna spear them with the rosemary.
Okay.
All right, so 2 thin slices. Take that off from there. There you go. All right, and then you're just gonna spear the rosemary straight through the center. Yep, and just drop it in. There you go. Oh, it floats. When they did it at home, it sank. No, I'm just kidding, it didn't sink. Cucumber is actually very buoyant, and the rosemary wasn't cut too heavy, so it's gonna float. Right, so that's your cucumber, mint, and basil with rosemary swizzle with a little bit of soda water. I'm actually still gonna make another one, just for the benefit of those who don't get to have a full one. So because it tasted nice, you get to take one. You get to take one as well. And I'm gonna make another one. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I'll give you a spoon to take it out, don't worry.
For my next cocktail is gonna be very super simple. For his first cocktail, he made a lemonade. Do you know the difference between a lemonade and a lime squash? Do you know the difference between a lemonade and a lime squash?
Somebody said it. Someone said it. Soda water.
Yeah, the whole difference is just that lemonade you use tap or still water, and for lime squash you use soda water. Just get 2 volunteers. And this one's gonna be super simple. This space is gonna build, and then we're gonna do a bit of layering. Let's fill the glass of ice almost to the very top. So this is a drink that you can make anytime you're at home, you're thirsty. And at the beginning we were speaking about mixology. We're taking a simple cocktail and twisting it using different flavors. So for this cocktail, I'm using grapefruit zest, 5-finger, and thyme syrup. We have civil sweet, sour orange, bitter orange, marmalade orange. Anyone familiar with that type of orange? It's called bitter orange or sour orange, marmalade orange. Everyone call it different. Yeah. It's sweet, bitter, very aromatic. So you're gonna put, see you guys, everything sweet, a big shot of the syrup, which is 1.5 ounces per glass.
One? Yeah.
Yep, right to the top. So you're going to use half of that. You can turn it over and you're going to use the small side. Yeah, all of that syrup was supposed to be in the drink. And pour, pour, pour. Pour, pour, pour. That's it. And you're just going to stir it. What you can do, you can bring the syrup from the bottom straight to the top. You don't want to stir it too much, so you can kill all the fizz and make it flat. Because the whole idea of a lime squash, you're supposed to taste the bubbles. And then we're going to do another twist from the lime squash and make a Bentley. A Bentley is just added bitters on top of the lime squash. This will be a bit of layering also. Just dash away. Come on, it's not going to hurt you. Just dash. Dash. Yeah, that's good.
So tell us about bitters, Rohan.
Bitters is made in Trinidad. It's in It's well, no one knows the ingredients of it. It's very secret, and it's good for anything: headaches, colds, cooking, baking,
Ice cream.
So you can basically use it for anything. And you're just going to garnish simply with a thyme sprig, a sprig of thyme. Just put it down to the side of a glass.
Like that?
Yep. Just push it in. There you go. Hopefully it tastes just as good as it looks.
You're the mixologist, you should know.
I didn't make it. So that's it. So this one's yours. What you can do, you can stir it in.
Good?
Yeah, if you don't stir, you're going to be drinking a lot of bitters.
Nothing's wrong with that. Bitters is good. All right, so we have some samples here from the cucumber swizzle. Anybody interested in trying?
Too sweet? Too sour? Enjoy.
All right, so anyone here has little cousins, nieces, nephews, and has been asked to, well, nowadays we don't do it how we used to do it. Nowadays, cooling tea is putting the formula in the bottle and then putting the bottle in some water to let it cool down. But anybody used to cool tea by moving it from container to container? Yeah? Used to do that? Right. Did you actually know that's a way of mixing drinks? Yeah? It's called rolling. Right? It's called rolling. Rolling, it just basically means going from one vessel to the other and aerating the drink. Right? It doesn't necessarily mean that the drink ends up with any bubbles, but it means that the drink gets some air into it and lightens it if it's something heavy. And today, because the sorrel syrup, as you can see, is really heavy, we're going to need to lighten that up a bit to get it to a level where we could actually drink it. So, for rolling, we're going to use the julep strainer. Told you guys about these just now. All right, so julep strainer goes into the mixing glass with the curve facing up, because if you put the curve facing down, when the liquid hits here, it's going to splash out. You turn it with the curve up so that you have a lower level to hit, which means if any splashes hit, they hit the side of the glass instead of coming out of the glass. Right? We're just going to imagine that we put a little bit of ice in these. The ice is what we're going to use to chill the drink, and this is just your liquid level with some ice in there. And then what we're going to be doing is your dominant hand holds the glass, your weaker hand holds the tin, and I'm not going to ask you to go to the lengths that I go to, but this is basically what rolling is. You're going from one container, and the ice gets trapped in the glass so it doesn't come out, and all that goes in here is the liquid, and then we pour back into here. The higher you go, the more aerated the drink gets. And then you go even longer while controlling the liquid and making sure that none comes out. But if you're one of the two persons and you come up and you just do this is perfectly fine. I'm not going to tell you to go any higher if you're uncomfortable, but at the end of it, this is what we're usually looking for. Nice long pours so the drink becomes really, really aerated and the ingredients get really well mixed together. All right, so who wants to come up and try rolling? 2 people, 1, 2, all right, cool. Come on up. First things first, a little bit of cocktail history for a few people as well. So you have 2 drinks made with the same ingredients but slightly different, right? So you have a rum punch and you have a rum sour, right? And then you have the daiquiri as well. All classified as sour cocktails, okay? Differences between the 3. A rum punch should consist of bitters, right? It should be made with brown rum with the lime and the sugar, right? If you take the bitters out of a rum punch and you have brown rum with lime and sugar and that's shaken and poured out into a short glass, it's called a rum sour, right? If you change the brown rum to white rum with the same levels of simple syrup or sugar and lime, it is called a daiquiri, and it's served up straight, not necessarily blended like how everybody has blended daiquiris these days. So today, because we're using brown rum, it's going to be a rum punch. We're actually going to be using bitters as well. We're actually going to be using a microplane. You guys are accustomed to using microplanes as well too, right? Right, so we're going back into the kitchen with the microplane as well, because we're going to microplane some nutmeg across the top. We're going to put some bitters in and we're going to put some bitters on. All right. So there's a little bit of comfort here because you have the microplane, but then there's a little bit of discomfort because you have these other things that you have to deal with. So without any further ado, sour rum punch. You can use any rum you want in terms of brown rum. I know my friends from Trinidad would love to have some Angostura 5-year-old or 7-year-old, but today we're using special Barbados rum. So we're gonna use 1.5 ounces, which is the tall side of rum, into the mixing glass. Go close to the glass so that you don't spill. Get it as close to the top as possible. There you go. And straight in the glass. And a little bit more. No, same side. Just a little bit more. Just to make it off. There you go. It's heavy. Same thing for you. Into the glass. And a little bit more. There you go. It's heavy too. But what was a rum punch? You wrote rum, right? Alright, so our next ingredient is going to be bitters. So you're going to use 4 dashes in and then 4 dashes on top when we're finished the drink. Right? So 4 dashes in. No, that's drops. This is a dash. Let me show you what a dash looks like. A dash is when you elongate this and you go, that's a dash. Otherwise it's drops.
4?
Yeah, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Those are dashes. And as you can see, the rum went from this color to that color. Right? Just with the 4 dashes of bitters. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Great. All right. Now, for our lime juice, you're going to squeeze juice of half a lime straight into your glass. As hard as you can, get all the juice out. Back up, squeeze again. There you go. Try one more time. Yeah, that's good. Take it out. Let's pass it over to your colleague there. Straight into your glass, same thing. Hard as you can. Try one more. Rohan, if you use all the ice, I'm going to kill you. Because I need ice dough. All right, and then lastly, we're going to use our syrup. So it's a spice sour syrup. So you're going to use the other end of the jigger now, right? And we're going to do, actually let you fill it up the top. You guys like sweet stuff. And hold, and straight into that glass. And you can add a little bit more if you care to. No more? Wow, you're going to have a sour drink. All right, same for you. And if you want to add more, you could go ahead. Oh, wow, interesting. It would appear so. It would appear so. All right, so you're going to get a scoop of ice from Rohan over there. All right. Straight into your glass. Same for you as well. And then you can just pass it back to him. He still can't use all of it because they still need more. All right, and then your julep strainer goes on top. Just like how I did just now. And then this is what I want you to do. Just so you can hold the glass as efficiently as possible. This finger goes across the top, securing this so it doesn't move. Your other 3 fingers are on the glass, and this secures here, but you're going to move it around to the side a little bit so that the liquid doesn't touch your finger when you're doing it, right? So this is actually what I want you guys to do. So the glass is secure with these 3 fingers, this is secure with this finger, and this secures the front of the glass. There you go. Correct. Now the other, one of you is going to have to give the other one some room. So because you're in the corner, because you're in the middle, you can just go across a little bit. Right. So now we're going to roll. Shake your tin in hand and pour. And remember, you don't have to go high if you don't want to go high. Ah, there you go. And down. Don't let it drip. And then over the next side.
Yeah, John.
And as it gets right, the less liquid in you go down, the more liquid in you go up. As soon as it gets more, back down. Correct. Good. One more time, and then we're going to pour into our glasses. We should have some Alison Haynes in the background with role playing, right? All right. So now we're gonna pour straight into our copper mug. Get a good scoop of ice. A little bit more. You get some, he doesn't have to get all. All right, and then same again, 4 dashes on top. Get those nice spicy notes coming through. And then microplane, nutmeg, straight over the top as well. Get those aromas in. You can stop whenever you're ready. I usually do like 5 to 6. All right. Her hand is very heavy with everything, which is good. All right. So now, before you even taste it, what I want you to do is just smell the mug and let you guys know what you're smelling when you smell it. Nutmeg, just nutmeg. That's all you smelling? I'm just kidding. It's spicy notes and all that kind of stuff. Now have a taste and let me know what you think. Tastes good. I love the first expression before the taste good. It's like, yeah, this tastes good. All right, so thank you very much. So that's your sour rum punch. We're gonna have some samples for the others soon. Thank you very much. Right, so on behalf of myself and Rohan, unless Rohan wants to speak after I speak, I just want to thank Peter for having us today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed everything that we shared with you today. I know the rum drink was going to be the drink that everybody was going to like. That's why we did it at the end. But I hope that this, I'm not saying that I'm trying to encourage you guys out of the kitchen, but just remember that we're on the outside, you're on the inside. Because every great chef needs a drink from time to time. We all need food too, so that's cool. So I just want to thank you guys for being here and continue to enjoy the conference. And thank Peter very much for having us today.
Cjcc Media, the place for your culinary satisfaction.